I'm going to go ahead and stream this to YouTube if you don't mind.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, because you're both in full makeup and costumes.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Naturally.
So it's totally awesome.
We look beautiful. We were prepared for this.
I know. It's so cute. So tell me your names and why you're here.
I am Jessica Marquardt. I am the executive director of CirqueLouis.
Uh-huh.
My name is Jordan Clark, and I am the acrobatic director and choreographer for CirqueLouis.
That's pretty fantastic. And I'm so glad you guys have taken the time to come in with us. Exactly what, Jessica, is CirqueLouis?
Oh, goodness. That's a complicated question.
It is a complicated
It's
question.
an involved question, not a complicated question.
All right. You can have all the
CirqueLouis
time
is
you
a-
want. You have an hour.
Perfect. It's a local circus nonprofit. We have 3 branches, our production branch, our education branch, and our outreach branch. And we're going to talk about a little about each of them today.
Sounds good. Do you want to talk about any of them? Because you are such a, I just had you stand on your hands next to the kitten with Jessica. I'm about to post the picture, and I've never seen anything like it.
Well, thank you. I don't know perhaps as much about the administrative programming side as Jessica
You don't have
might.
to talk about
He
that.
can
I want to
talk
hear
about
about your,
production.
But I can
Your
your
definitely,
scary stuff.
you know, all the choreographic, acrobatic things and
Please.
anything that is, pertaining to the circus disciplines themselves
Please.
and performance in
Tell
general
us.
is
Tell us about it.
all the stuff that I love.
How did you get into this first?
Well, I'm from Louisville, Kentucky,
Mm-hmm.
and growing up as a kid, I saw some traditional circuses.
And you ran away with it, right?
Well, not at the beginning. I saw Ringling Brothers and Shriner Circus and things like that. But outside of that, I was also very drawn to just circus imagery in general. And anytime I saw, a circus poster or, a film where something in the circus happened or anything of that nature, it just would spark my imagination and was very, it was like an escapist fantasy. And I think everyone has like a romantic idea about the circus. So it's kind of, I don't know, to me it was very natural. And I think at the same time, I also grew up really enjoying superhero comic books, and the performers you see on stage, have these amazing costumes that
Yes, they do.
transform them, and
Yep.
they perform these superhuman feats.
Yep.
So there's also a bit of the wanting to become some kind of a superhero, and then at the end of the day, you can kind of shed that skin and go back to your
Normal.
average life. Yeah.
Which is no fun.
Oh, I mean, well, it
break
takes
is
a
a relief
balance, and
sometimes.
things.
Okay, so I am hashtagging CirqueLouis,
Perfect.
Yeah.
right? And just basically letting people know that you were here at this very moment.
Awesome.
And I've put up a wonderful montage of all the crazy pictures that we just took.
With the kittens.
With the kittens, which was, the standing on your hands
Yes.
next to Jessica with the kittens was
Yeah.
possibly the cutest thing of all.
It was
And so I've got that
impromptu
forever.
circus is always
Impromptu
fun.
Impromptu circus forever
Checking the
recorded.
ceiling height.
Exactly.
But yeah, after I had those, that inspiration as a kid, I was competed in martial arts from age 10 to 17, so I was pretty
Really?
active.
Where was that?
It was here in town and kind of regionally as well. And well, eventually I, left that. I learned a lot from it, and it helped me greatly. But in the end, I wanted to be more of a performer.
Of course.
And I heard about the National Circus School in Montreal, Canada, which is across the street from Cirque du Soleil's headquarters.
Yes.
It's funded by the government. It's founded by some of the people who founded Cirque du Soleil. It's not directly connected, but there is some crossover. It's across the street. Of course, there's going to be some intermingling.
What's the name of the group of the? Is it a family that has that, or is it an organization?
Cirque du Soleil.
Oh, it is. Oh, sorry, you said that. Okay.
Well,
No, the Montreal Circus
the
School.
Montreal Circus School is a government-funded
Oh, it's
institute,
okay.
like perhaps something similar to like Juilliard or something
Oh,
like this.
yeah, right. Okay.
But I found out about that school, and I immediately knew that that's where I wanted to go.
You
So
had to do it.
I stopped martial arts and started training kind of at my house by myself, doing what I thought maybe was circus or what would help me. And luckily, I was accepted into the school. And
Wow.
I think I might be the first person from Kentucky to ever go to that school. Which circus is a rather niche thing, but at the same time, I enjoy to represent Kentucky in the circus world.
Did it cost you anything since you're an American?
It did cost a little bit more, though, compared to American University. It was it cost nothing compared to American University. Though it did cost something.
Right.
Though,
but you were able to handle it.
I was able to handle it.
You're wearing the shirt.
Well, this is a circus shirt from another festival. My CirqueLouis shirt was unfortunately in the wash.
We've been all over the place, so it's
I
gotten a lot
tried
of
to at
use.
least represent
Jeez
something
Louise.
else in the circus.
Okay, so
in the
Jessica,
world.
stand up and get in front of the camera, and that's perfect. That's perfect right there. Now turn a little. There you go. You can walk towards the camera a little bit. That's the CirqueLouis symbol. It's almost got like a fleur-de-lis kind of thing going. Is that what it's supposed to be?
Exactly.
Move a little closer. Oh, you're standing in front of the couch. You can't really do that. She's a circus performer. Of course she can move closer. There you go. Great. Okay, come back and sit down. I love that. That's excellent. So, Jessica, how did you get into this biz?
My story is a little bit shorter than Jordan's. I know I met Jordan like 10 years ago.
We went to high school together.
Jordan
High
is
school
so
together.
expressive.
Yeah.
He has to express himself.
He does, and he has a longer story, a more involved story than mine. I've only been doing circus for about 3 years, and I fell into it. Nothing super exciting. It was actually my health that brought me to circus. My doctor's like, you need to work out, you need to exercise, and I was on Groupon surfing, and I found the circus. So I think that I have acquired the romantic ideas about circus that Jordan had, which brought him to circus while I was in circus.
He's
So
talking while I try to open our high-tech air vent because I am dying of heat.
it's
This is
perfect.
how we cold place, right? This is how we
No,
cold
it's
place.
it's
Okay.
great.
All right.
I do remember in high school when we first met. At the time,
Where'd you guys go to school?
Ballard High
Oh,
School.
wonderful.
Good old Ballard.
Yeah.
Yeah, wonderful.
But I remember that at the time, you weren't in circus, and I wasn't really in circus yet. But I remember you had like a button on your backpack that said, "Too many freaks, not enough circuses." And at that time was just when I was starting
How
circus,
perfect
and I
is
thought in my
that?
mind like, "Oh, like she doesn't." Like, she's making a judgment about circus people. And then, lo and behold.
But lo and behold, here we are sitting
she
next to
is.
each other.
Yeah, exactly.
No
So it's quite
judgments.
funny.
No judgments.
it's
Oh, my
perfect.
goodness. Jordan, keep leaning in here so we can see your beautiful face on
So we
camera.
can hear you, yeah. Yeah.
Go ahead, Jessica.
No, it's perfect. So then I've been training in aerials for just under 3 years. I've been eating fire for about 2 years, and I'm adding fire, yes, and
Something I
adding
won't do.
skills. Yeah, adding skills to my repertoire. I'll be stilting in our show next week.
I used to walk on stilts.
It's so fun.
Did you know that?
It's great. I didn't know that.
They were iron pipes.
Whoa.
So they were heavy.
So were they like drywall stilts or peg stilts?
No, somebody had taken iron pipes and welded, footsteps onto them. You got to remember, I'm a lot older than you.
No, but that sounds.
It was very cool.
That sounds like a leg workout. Like my legs are
Yes.
sore after
Yeah,
I walk
heavy
for a
to
couple of
move them.
hours.
Yes.
But like,
it was
muscles for
big.
real.
I could run around the neighborhood on them.
That's oh my goodness.
I know, but they didn't have any feet or anything. They were just pipes.
Pegs.
Yeah, they were just pipes. I mean, that's exactly what they were.
Oh,
It was
mercy.
hysterical. I know. So you're going to be stilting. Are
I'll
these
be-
like really big, tall stilts?
Mine are only add 2 feet to my height, so I'm
Okay.
about 7.5 feet tall.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, that's for our show next Friday. So I
Yeah.
guess we should talk about that.
Yes, I would
next.
like to hear about your show next Friday.
So it is Pinocchio, and
Aw.
it is not like Disney's version of Pinocchio. It's more of the classic Italian story, and our artistic
Darker.
director,
The darker version of Pinocchio.
Pinocchio is a bit more mischievous in the story. I
Yeah.
would say.
He's
Do you want to
rather
talk more to that?
Sure.
Say anything you want.
Yeah, our director Christine Moondancer was inspired by the original story of Pinocchio, and I was unfamiliar with that story. And reading it, there's so many more characters that Pinocchio meets and interacts with that, in the Disney film are not there, and in other, renditions. I mean, there's a lot of renditions, but the Disney one is, I think, the one that most people
Think of.
comes to mind. So we have some more characters and maybe some scenes that the general public might not be familiar with seeing Pinocchio in, or thinking like that's a Pinocchio moment. But I think we really see Pinocchio go from kind of this amoral, kind of behavioral problem.
Don't tell
child.
me Pinocchio is amoral. That's very frightening.
But
He's
the thing is,
mischievous. He's naughty.
As Pinocchio goes through the story and meets the different characters, he learns lessons about empathy and working together and caring for other people and having responsibility. So we do see a change of character throughout the show, and I think that's pretty interesting.
It's exciting to watch.
On a
I'm
narrative
sure it is.
level,
I'm
circus
sure.
performances aside.
Oh, that's fantastic. And this is going to take place at the Kentucky Center
Kentucky
for the Arts.
Center
And Christian,
in the Baumhart.
Christian Edelberg was actually telling me about this when he came
good.
to be on the show. And he said, this is an exciting jump for you guys.
Yes, it is.
Because you've been performing at American Turner's.
We've performed
Right.
at Turner's.
And
we
where
were
else?
At the Mercury Ballroom last December. We were at
Awesome.
Iroquois Amphitheater
Love
last
that.
summer.
Love
and
that.
we'll be there again next summer. We'll talk a little bit more about that as the hour goes on. But performing at the Kentucky Center was in our 3-year plan, and we're only a year and a half old. So we're
That's
very excited
cool.
about that. When it all unfolded, we were like, oh my goodness, this is thrilling.
How old are you guys?
How old is CirqueLouis?
How old are you?
Oh, I'm 20. Jordan and I are both 26.
Yeah.
And you have a 3-year plan.
Yeah, I have a
This
3-year
is
plan.
awesome.
I am probably like the organized person on our board. Everyone else is very artistic and very like, let's think about all these wonderful things. And I'm like, let's put a timeline on it because I believe in goals.
Good for you.
It's helpful
pretty
to have
awesome.
that kind of energy.
It is
Sometimes
helpful.
it is, and sometimes they're like, go in the other room. We need to have like a loose conversation. It's fine.
So how do you recruit your board members?
Right now we have 3 people on we have 3 founders, and then there is myself, the executive director. We have our marketing and PR, and then we have Jordan, who is our choreography director. I think that's your official title on the website. Choreography director.
I won't deny it.
Who are your founding members, Jessica?
They are Abby Springer and Lindley Wolf Elliott and Christine Moondancer.
Excellent. God, I love Moondancer. That's an
I know.
awesome name.
She chose
It's a
her
great
name.
name.
Oh,
and
I
it-
was going to say she
it's-
had to have picked
it
that
suits
one out.
her. It suits her.
It also
she's a
suits her
fascinating
aesthetic
person.
as a director. I
Yeah,
think.
I totally
See,
agree.
I would be, if I could choose my name, I would be Tara Supermoon because I'm in love with Supermoon.
Oh, that's awesome.
That is so cool when that thing rises above the horizon and it's as big as the whole world.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
I don't know what my name would be if I got to pick my own name.
Well, they say your stripper name is your first name and then the first, or your first
I
pet
think.
and then the first street that you lived on.
Goldie Longest. Longest Avenue, okay?
What's
oh
yours?
my gosh. Zach Bryden. That's not exciting. It sounds like somebody who would write a really cheap novel, I think.
I think I can top you both. I lived on an odd street. Sniffer 173rd.
Oh my
My
goodness.
goodness.
Okay, now that we've gotten all
goodness.
that
Now
out,
that- now that that's
we get on
assigned.
this subject.
those will be our performing names from here on out.
Exactly.
That's
Henceforth, you shall be known as.
Goldie
Goldie.
Longest. You're going in my phone as that.
Oh
That's
my
hilarious.
lord! I know you can put it on so he can pop up. You can put a little picture of Goldilocks on there, so you'll know. He's even got blonde hair,
He does,
and
it's
it's
perfect.
curly.
It
I love
is.
it. Take your hat
He's
off.
got
I'm
great
playing
hair.
a poodle in the show.
Oh, look at that cute little curly hair. Oh, isn't he adorable?
Isn't it great?
You're playing a poodle?
I am
in the
playing
show.
a poodle.
Oh, that'll be
I
funny.
am coming to Pinocchio's rescue after he's gotten himself into a bit of trouble.
Oh no!
He's
Is this where he's on the island of whatever it
This
is?
is a little bit beforehand. He gets
Okay.
into a trouble quite a few times, actually.
Like every other scene, pretty much.
Yeah. So I come to his rescue then, and then actually in the land of lost children, land of merriment, I'm coming back as another character who actually buys Pinocchio and puts him into hard labor. So I get to play 2 characters with 2 very
Oh,
different
man.
motivations, which is quite fun.
That is hardcore stuff. So he goes into basically what, manacles? I mean, is he literally
Well, it's not that
locked up?
Not quite that far, but after in our show, after the lost boys kind of turn into these donkeys, I enter. I'm no longer the dog. I'm kind of a circus ringmaster, and I buy Pinocchio and a couple of the other children to be in my circus, and then they do the show for me as I direct them
They get to
around.
work.
I love
Yeah.
that. How long is this show? And is it child friendly?
It is
It's
child-friendly.
family friendly, and its runtime is 2 hours, including a 15-minute intermission.
So how old a minimum age would you say kids could come in and sit through that?
I think it depends on your kid's attention span.
Yeah.
There are it's an engaging show. I don't mean to say that, but there are some children who cannot be still for 2 hours.
Right.
And we wouldn't say, like, don't come.
Well, tell them
But-
to bring their headphones and tablets and everything will be fine. That's what they do anyway.
It's true.
I see
That's
them in
very
shopping malls and at church, and they've all got their little earbuds and their little tablets with them.
true. It is incredible. But the other engaging thing for
It's like
children...
unplug and watch live entertainment, would you please?
Watch what we've worked so hard for. But we have kids in our show. I think the youngest is 8.
Aw.
And
And
then
who is that?
I think that's Lucia.
I think so.
Lucia's the youngest.
Oh, and so these kids are starting out circus pretty early, aren't
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. We have maybe 6 or 7 kids under the age of like 13
Mhm.
that are in the show. Then we have some teenagers, some adults, and then we have our oldest performer. I don't actually know how old Mama Wolf is, but she is a great grandma.
Oh my
So,
gosh! So we're
think that's
talking
right.
70.
And she's been in circus for a very long time.
We're
as
talking
well.
in her 70s, though.
Yes, yeah, for sure. But she's a spitfire. She actually taught me to eat fire. So
You said she's a spitfire
she
who taught
is.
you how to eat fire. Okay, can you just describe for us what it is to eat fire?
Oh, it's science. I won't get too involved because I don't want anyone at home to try.
Right.
But basically, to have a fire, you have to have fuel and heat and oxygen. And if you
Right.
take one of those pieces away, then the fire goes out. So when you're eating fire, you're removing the oxygen.
I see. That's a very special technique, too.
Mm-hmm.
And it took a while to learn it. Any
Little bit.
accidents?
I have had one accident that Jordan actually got to witness. It was great, but it ended up being fine. We always have safeties and spotters. I just got overexcited. One of my fire instructors said, "Fire is like a wild animal.
Yes.
you can think that you have it tamed, but the minute you get cocky with it, then it will come back and bite you."
Oh, isn't
And
that
that's
interesting?
What happened? So, but we've no accidents since.
And then
just the
somebody
once.
hit you in the face with a fire extinguisher, right?
Not with a fire extinguisher. No, I actually put it out myself. It's just like this very quick. You rub it out just like you would smother.
But you
Mhm.
didn't burn yourself?
I had a small burn.
Wow. I don't think
But it
I would
heals
be
up.
eating fire anytime soon. That's a
it's
scary
good.
thing, but
It's-
it's a bit spectacular to watch.
It's an addiction for sure.
Okay. Whatever you say,
Jordan
Jessica.
doesn't
I
agree
don't,
because he would not
I
do
don't
it.
touch
Jordan
that
does.
personally.
Dorson does not have an addictive personality. He's
Not
like,
for
no
that anyway."
fire for me.
No.
Okay, so when we get to the Kentucky Center for the Arts, are you going to suggest front row seating or back seating? I mean, what's going to give you the best view of your proscenium and your cirque?
Well, I
Louisville?
really think that any seat in the house is going to be great for the audience.
This is in the Baumhart.
This is in the Baumhart, so
Yes.
it's a relatively intimate space.
It is.
So where you sit, it's not going to make that much of a difference compared to some, massive theaters.
Yeah.
Which is actually something that we wanted to have, was to have
It was
a bit
an
more
intentional
of an
selection.
intimate connection with
Right,
the audience.
right.
And we will have some characters passing through the audience, and there might be some aerialists above your heads.
Wow.
So there's really no wrong way to go.
One of the trademarks, I think, for Christine, our artistic director, is that she likes experiential cirque theater.
Yes.
Which means that you are being integrated into the show. And we didn't see so much of that in our summer show because at Iroquois,
You don't
it's
have the-
huge.
yes.
It's hard to get
It's
from
like
the audience
the
to the
Whitney
stage.
Hall.
Mhm,
Yeah.
Exactly. But the Baumhart was selected because it is easy to integrate with the audience. So
Yeah.
there's not a bad seat in the house, I
No.
would say.
Okay, so how do you create aerialists above your heads? I mean, there's got to be a huge infrastructure in order to accomplish that, right?
We dream it and then we talk to our rigger about it and make sure that he thinks that it's safe. But our rigger is actually employed at the Kentucky Center, so it worked out really easily. We said we think that this is a thing we want to do. What do you think? And he makes it happen.
So are there
It's
actually
brilliant.
frameworks above where you can hook on, or do you have to bring your own, like, whatever?
At the Baumhart, there is a framework that
Whatever.
we are utilizing. Yeah, we have portable rigs if we go to different events, but when we're putting on a show, we really look for a space that you can rig directly into so it's not distracting.
Now, wasn't it you that I met at Iroquois Amphitheater during the Pumpkin Spectacular?
Yep,
That
yep.
was a year
We were
ago.
there, yeah.
And you had this gigantic gyroscope kind of thing. like a
Gyroscope.
circle, like it was a big circle or something. I don't know what it was. You guys were hanging from it.
And a lyra, an
A
aerial
lyra.
hoop.
Oh, okay. That's
You said gyroscope, and
well,
I was
that's
very.
what I was thinking.
totally
it
thrown.
reminded me of a gyroscope. But so the lyra. What are the other types of equipment that you actually utilize?
Oh my goodness, there's a ton.
In the aerial domain, starting from classical circus, we have the trapeze and the rope, which I think are relatively recognizable for most people, especially the trapeze as a circus symbol, and the rope, of course, is the most simple thing, been around for hundreds of years. So those are the first two, I think, classical circus aerial disciplines. The hoop, the lyra, the aerial hoop, and the silks, which are like the two long ribbons that people will wrap themselves in.
Twirl around.
These are a little bit more recent as far as being a discipline that people are researching, but they're very, very popular. We have all of these in our show, and then we also have stilters, jugglers.
We have the aerial sphere. We have a flying ladder, which is exciting. If you are in the first 3 to 4 rows, you are in for a
It'll
treat.
be flying over your head. And the aerial ladder is also a very traditional, old school apparatus. So for us to take that and to put it into a theatrical setting, I think will be very exciting to bring something very traditional circus into that realm, because it's not something that we see too often in the circus world. So.
Well, it's kind of taking like an old story and making it new,
Exactly.
like they did with The Wizard of Oz and Wicked.
Yeah,
You know?
absolutely.
So is it typical for a circus troupe to incorporate theater, or is this something new that you guys are doing?
Well, in the U.S., I think the circus that most people know is like Barnum and Bailey,
Right.
Ringling Brothers, and
Yeah.
this is a
Lot
the
of
traditional
animals.
style.
Right.
Well, we also have circuses that follow the same format without animals, but you're right. It's the ring.
That's what people think of. They think
People
of clowns
think
and
of-
Immediately.
elephants.
Clowns,
Immediately.
elephants.
Yeah. We're here to educate you differently.
Yes. The contemporary circus movement has started, I don't know the exact dates, but I want to say maybe the early 70s in France.
Right.
And since then, it's been growing and growing. And I think now most people will think of Cirque du Soleil when they think of kind of contemporary circus. And Cirque du Soleil has almost become something separate from the traditional circus. It's almost like
It is.
two different things, but
Right.
In truth, it's it's all in the same basket for me, at least. And more recently, there's been from circus universities like the one I went to, or ones in Europe. Graduate students will come together and create collectives and create shows together, and these shows are the ones where sometimes we see a lot of experimentation, almost. It could go as far as performance art or more in a dance realm or spoken word. We see a little bit more experimentation there. And also, though, they get a lot of funding from the government.
Yeah, there
which
you go.
we don't necessarily get over here, but
By
we're
which
trying.
means we
We're
don't get
trying.
any funding from the government.
So how do you guys put on your shows? How do you pay the people who work with you?
Well, we're a nonprofit, so that's certainly
We have
a question.
some fundraisers that we work on. Right now, we all of our performers are paying for their own costumes.
Wow.
Which
Yeah.
is,
That's
but
a lot.
it
It's a
is, but
project
it's
of
exciting. It's a
passion.
project of passion. That's a great way to put it. Everyone believes in what we do because not only are we performers, but we have all these other branches that we're working in, and people love that.
So
And
you're teaching.
Yeah, well, a lot of people in the show as well, even our founders and executive directors and PR, everyone are also performing in the show. So it's really a collective effort, with everyone together, and that's something that I think is really important about circus, is that there's a place for everyone, even if you're a societal misfit. That's what circus originally was, and it's about coming together and everyone using what they bring to the table to create that magical experience for the audience.
And I find it funny because you're using circus as an interesting singular mention as opposed to saying the circus.
Mm-hmm.
And I find that interesting.
It's
It's alive.
It
It
is
definitely
alive.
is. It's a living, breathing organism.
Right.
And, there's a lot of.
It's more like
lot
a
of working
verb than a
pieces.
noun, actually.
Mhm. Yeah.
You say the
I would agree
circus,
with
you
that.
know what it is, but you're using circus like, oh, it's just flowing and it's so exciting.
It definitely is.
I never thought of it that way. But
Well, it is. I mean, when you say
like that
circus,
idea.
it's like you get all these images in your head about movement and flying, and it's crazy.
Characters, costumes.
Yes, exactly.
Spangles, stardust,
Yeah, and beyond that, I think that people belong in the circus, not even necessarily in the spotlight. We have an entire crew of people who make things happen behind the scenes, whether that's our artistic director sewing costumes by hand or our rigging crew.
riggers, stage hands.
Bless them, yeah.
So you have a crew of riggers. Are they being paid?
Yes. Their
Are
job
they
is,
union?
Their job is important. And I think that all aerialists should be informed about their rigging, but it's something
Yes.
that I'm super passionate about
I bet.
because it keeps everyone safe.
Yes.
But the science itself is just fascinating.
What's the safety aspect of doing circus?
Oh goodness, that's a complex
A
question.
huge one. Yeah.
But I think just what I usually tell people when people say, "Oh, we want to have you at our party." I have this room that I think that you could hang something in.
Right.
They say you could hang there. It's fine. You weigh what, 130 pounds? I'm like, well, I weigh 140, but I can exert over 1,000 pounds on my silk. And people say, oh my goodness. And I think that one sentence kind of explains the gravity of what it means to rig for one aerialist, let alone for a show of over 50 people.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'5".
I would never in a million years guess you weigh 140 just because you are solid muscle.
Well, that's the circus for you.
I need to join.
You should.
Tell
you
me
should.
about the teaching when we come back. I'm going to give people a little chance to find out what's going on around town tonight, and this is the best way to do it.
Let's take a look at the WCHQ concert view for Wednesday.
Go to CrescentHillRadio.com and hit the icon at the top of the screen that says List Your Gig.
Oh, thank you, Bryce and Kevin. You're so wonderful. This is Take It From Tara. It's 55 degrees at 5:30, and I am so happy to have in the studio with me the two lovely and talented folks from CirqueLouis, Jessica Marquardt and Jordan Clark. Thank you both so much for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
You're awesome. We have another half hour to talk about the fabulous things that you can do with circus, and we're using it as an incredibly live and extraordinary experience that you can have. And I've seen you guys perform in several different locations, and I'm always amazed what you can do out in nature at the Iroquois Amphitheater or at the American Turners, which I saw this Sunday on one of the hottest days of summer. Yeah. And my 95-year-old mother and I walked in to see what was going on because they had the Flea-Off Market.
The Flea-Off show,
Same
yeah.
time. And it was fascinating. We missed most of it, but we got to see some of it. It was really cool. And now you're going to be performing at the Kentucky Center for the Arts and the Baumhard Theater. So when is this coming up?
It's a week from Friday,
How
December the 9th at
exciting.
8 p.m.
Okay. And do we have a price that we can name for tickets, or is it a variety? And should we look at your website?
Oh my goodness, I don't know off
Okay.
the top of my head
That's
how
okay.
much they are, but I do know that there are only a small amount left.
Oh, man. You better jump on that.
Yes.
Okay. Friday night, the 9th of December. And, okay, so I'm going to look up CirqueLouis. Is it on Facebook?
Yeah.
So, I mean, like
One word.
the amount of money that it will cost us to go to the
think
show.
That's on the Kentucky Center
yeah,
website.
that information
Okay.
will be on the website of the Kentucky Center of the Arts. They've taken care of a lot of our marketing and
Okay.
ticket sales and all of this
Okay.
stuff.
Well,
so,
that's nice to
yeah,
have
they've
somebody
been
They've
handling
been
it.
very supportive and amazing for us.
Oh, especially for you, Jordan. Because you're the artistic type and Jessica's the organized type, right?
Yeah, so it's good for me.
Yeah, it's
Exactly. The Kentucky Center for the Arts has a couple of different websites that you can go to.
Oh, that's tricky. If you Google it, it might take you to Whitney Hall, which is their larger theater, but we're in the
Right.
Baumhard because
Exactly.
it's the more intimate.
Well, so if you go to the Kentucky Center for the Arts, you can click on box office. That's probably the easiest thing to do.
Yeah.
Go straight to the box office for your information, and I will put that link on my website, on my Facebook page, actually, events and performances, and it will list, unfortunately, Alan Cumming, who is there tonight.
Yes.
And Christian offered me 2 front row seats, and I said, I can't because I'm on the radio until 8 o'clock, and I love Alan Cumming.
he's fantastic.
And he's sold out. I mean, all of you guys, every single one of you is selling out. I can't believe it.
It's good. Louisville loves its art.
Fantastic. Louisville definitely loves its art. So, the Kentucky Center box office is obviously a place, and you can call them. I mean, seriously, just call the Kentucky Center's number and find out more about everything that you need to find out. I am talking with these two young folk because I want you to know how exciting circus is in Louisville, and CirqueLouis is something brand new. I have not seen anything like it, and it is not your grandfather's Barnum and Bailey circus.
No, not at all.
So tell me about the concept that you came up with, and it's been a year and a half since you started?
A year and a half.
So what did you say, we're going to get together and make a circus? What did you say you were going to try to accomplish?
So it was really the brainchild of Lindley and Abby and Christine, our founders, and they kind of saw the need for circus to go out into the community because Turner's has been in Louisville for over 65 years.
Right.
And if you know somebody who did trapeze when they were little in the circus at Turner's, then you know it.
Exactly.
But if you don't know, then you just don't know. I lived in Louisville my whole life, and I stumbled into Turner's because of Groupon.
Yeah, for me, I had never...
Groupon created the circus.
In high school, when I was trying to
CirqueLouis.
prepare for the audition to the Circus University in Montreal, I had not heard of Turner Circus either. Like I said, I was training at my home by myself, and I didn't even know of Turner's until after I'd graduated that school and been working professionally for a few years, and I came home to visit my family.
Oh my
and
gosh.
I heard, something at Turner, and I had never even heard of it before, so...
But
getting out in the community, I think, is very important.
And even beyond performing in the community is getting into the community and being involved. We have education programs and social outreach. So you can find CirqueLouis performers performing, still walking down the street and juggling, but they're also going out and doing service projects and giving back through our social circus program, which I think makes us even more unique than we already are.
I think so, too. And, I want to just point out one more thing. If you click on the wrong website for Kentucky Center, you're going to go to these resale sites.
Oh yeah,
and you don't want to do that.
No,
that's not cool. So you want to go to the real KentuckyCenter.org.
And if you follow us on
website.
Facebook, the links are everywhere to get to the Kentucky
Oh yeah, that's
Center
the
website.
easiest thing. That's the easiest thing to do. I would say just go to the
Because they don't have to
CirqueLouis.
fumble through Google AdWords.
CirqueLouis, CirqueLouis, all one word, December 9th, 2016 at 8 p.m., KentuckyCenter.org. The box office, by the way, is a number that everybody in Louisville knows, whoever has lived here, 584-7777. 584-7777. They tell you in a commercial to say the number 3 times so people will know it. 584-7777.
And now you'll never forget.
And now you'll never forget the number for the Kentucky Center if you ever want to go to a show there. And there are, you guys have cute videos. That's what I love. Cute videos on I just love to look at things like videos and people who are doing circus. And here you are eating fire. I mean, seriously.
It's such a visual
You're
thing. It's so
crazy.
easy to share.
You're crazy. Why are you doing this?
Oh, because it's so
For
much
your
fun.
entertainment.
It is for my entertainment and for
yeah.
everybody's entertainment too. Where did fire eating originate? Because I seem to remember
It's
seeing
me. I don't know.
I don't know off the top of my head, but it is one of the old classical circus arts. Is,
Absolutely.
fire eating, and I'm excited. Once I started, I started to dig around a little bit. It is an art that's kind of dying off a little bit. It's picking up speed because you see a lot of people breathing fire on YouTube and whatnot. Like, hey, y'all, watch this. But the actual art of fire eating is different than fire breathing, and that is something that is picking up a little bit of steam in Louisville.
picking up a little bit of steam.
Picking up a little steam, but I think it's because of Turner's, because they're saying, here's this old art, here's how you traditionally do this skill. We will show you, and then people are running with it because it's fun. Not running with fire. They are running with the presentation, with the skill.
So let me guess. Fire eating is putting fire in, and fire breathing is blowing fire out. Does that
Blowing
make sense?
fuel out.
Oh, fuel out. So So Smaug the dragon in The Hobbit would be fire breathing.
Fire breathing.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
It's a
whereas
much more
you are
dangerous
fire eating.
skill than fire eating, and for me, it's something that I was interested in very briefly until I realized how little control you have while fire breathing.
Okay, tell me about fire breathing. I want to know more of the details.
So I don't breathe fire, so I can just tell you in generalities.
Right.
But basically, you have fuel in your mouth and you are spraying it out. It is not a spit.
I don't think I
it's
like
not a
that.
stream, but a spray.
I
Yeah.
don't think I like that.
Yeah,
And
it's-
don't try this at home.
Don't try it
Do
at
not
home.
try
Don't
any
try
of
it
these things at home. That's
But
terrible.
it's a dangerous skill, which is why we don't do that. We only eat fire and we spin fire.
Yeah. Well, how do you spin it? Is this what
if you
you're
have-
doing right here on? Oh, is that what you're doing on Facebook?
So those are fans, and those are things that you can spin. The picture is posed, so I look good.
Yeah,
But-
you look really good. That's what I mean. I'd never guess you weighed 140 pounds.
Thank you,
And
yeah.
140 pounds is a normal weight for somebody
Yeah.
at 5, because you and I are the same weight. And I'm like, I don't know, 133, 134. But you're much fitter than I am.
I gained a lot of it when I started circus. I was only 109 pounds, which
Oh
is an
my
unhealthy
gosh.
weight for somebody
That's
my
pretty
size,
low,
and that's
yeah.
part of how I ended up there. Was that I just wasn't putting on any weight. And they're like, "You have to go work out," and I said, "I don't want to go lift weights at the gym."
Right.
So stumbled into it.
Okay, I want to know more about the educational aspects of
Yeah,
CirqueLouis,
absolutely.
because for people who are just tuning in on 100.9 FM on their car radios, or who have downloaded the app to their phones, which is the best way, I'm thinking, to listen to Crestnell Radio, because if you download the app to your phone, you can take us wherever you go.
Brilliant.
And I hope you're listening. I hope you're watching. And we are also streaming live to YouTube, because these two kids are so cute. I just love it. We had the kittens on, and now we have cute kids. So what can you do? You know what they say? You never want to follow kids or animals unless you're in the circus.
Circus, yeah.
So tell me about the circus educational component.
Right. So we can go, there's a couple pieces of that. We can go into schools and teach circus arts. We've also gone on and done demos, but that usually leads to kids wanting to learn to do what they're seeing.
I bet.
Especially Jordan. He goes and stands on his hands
I
and does all
bet.
these insane contortion, hand balancing, and people are like, "Oh my gosh, I want to do that." He's been training for a really long time, but I'll do my best to show you. But circus is an interesting tool to use with kids because you can adjust it to anyone's
Level.
abilities.
Yeah.
right? If you have a kid who's struggling in any area, you can just give them something different to do and they will find success with it. But we've been at Locust Grove. In December, we are starting at Shelby Elementary and the Brown School, so we're excited about that. And we have some other schools coming up in the beginning of 2017.
That's so
which
cool.
is fantastic, and I am thrilled about.
Do you have a home base at Turner's or anywhere?
We are currently operating wherever.
Okay.
We don't have a space right now, but
You're a
it's something
homeless
that is-
circus
We're
troupe.
homeless circus. We do practice at Turner's.
Turner's donates
space.
space to us.
Okay, that's good.
But it is not where our home. I wouldn't call it our home base. It's where
Okay.
we practice.
Your
out of.
your rental practice area, so
Yeah.
rehearsal space. So you can't bring children in and teach them how to do circus
Not
for a price
currently.
in
But
a
what
place.
we do is we go into schools.
Right,
We go into
exactly.
different places in the city. And in addition to our school program, we have our social circus, which is going out into different neighborhoods and teaching circus. Basically using circus as a therapeutic tool to reach kids, teach them
like
to
at
trust and
boys and
teamwork.
girls clubs and places like
We
Exactly.
that.
actually have a program starting in the beginning of January with Shawnee
Awesome.
Boys and Girls Club. We're currently in Portland at Love City, so that is
Wonderful.
also expanding. And we're always looking for new programs to start or join with. So if you have a school or you have a program, then
Exactly. We'd
hit
love
us
to
up.
know
We'd
about
love
it.
to make that connection.
We would love to know about it. We'd like to point people in your direction, just because it's such a healthy and positive
Absolutely.
connection to make.
Yeah, not only are they, children or adults, whoever is learning circus arts, not only are you getting in touch with your body, but you're trusting yourself.
Yep.
And in some cases, you have to put trust into other people
Right.
to hold you. And sometimes you have to be the trust to hold them. So, there's elements of teamwork, and everyone, like I said before, has their unique role. And
we all know
what we're doing cannot be done unless everyone is there together and put into value.
And it's obvious and very positive that physical exercise improves emotional states.
Absolutely.
So,
and who doesn't love getting applause? Right?
Yeah, exactly. I love that.
intoxicating.
Well, I was lucky enough to MC the Bridgehaven Bridge Builder breakfast this morning, and Bridgehaven serves the severely mentally ill of the community. And it was so interesting because one of the members who spoke, had never been in front of anyone before. I mean, he hadn't even spoken in front of a small group, and he's up in front of
Oh, my
600
goodness.
people. And, he was the last minute bring in and save the day because the person who was supposed to speak was sick.
Oh, goodness.
And he had been on the list of people to speak anyway, but he had to become the keynote speaker.
Oh, dear.
So it was like pressure,
Yeah,
right?
for real.
And so he did a fabulous job, and he got the jokes in the right place, and people chuckled. And then at the end, when he finished, he just kind of looked out at the group, and the audience stood. Now, what kind of a plus is that? And seriously, the first time he got in front of a group was when he was practicing on Monday, and there were 15 or 20 people that he could speak in front of at Bridgehaven to practice, and here he is, 500, 600 people standing up for him.
But I think that speaks to something that we really look for in circus, and that's like bringing yourself or bringing your character to the audience. You want to make that emotional connection.
Yes.
And so if it's something you have only rehearsed once or twice and you're staying up in front of people, like, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
People appreciate that honesty, I think, that realness.
I think also to some degree in circus, you can't completely rehearse your act because there's always going to be that element of what energy the audience is giving you and how you're interacting with the audience. So you can prepare as much as you can, but each night it's a different experience.
Right.
Well, I have a question for you. Do you have 2 tickets that we can give away on the air, or are they all gone?
No.
Are you reserving any house seats in the front row?
I don't know. I'll have to find out. I wish that we had tickets to give away. Oh my gosh, they've gone
They're
so
just
fast.
selling like crazy.
We couldn't be happier about that.
Yeah.
Okay, if you have any SRO in the back of the theater like they do on Broadway, the last minute standing room only, let me know.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's happening a week from Friday.
Yes.
A week from Friday.
So we could give it away on Curtain Call Monday if we have the opportunity to do that. So we'll have to ask Christian.
We'll have to call, yeah.
Yeah, we'll text Christian and find out. Let us know if there's anything. I also want to mention the fact that Old Time Christmas on Frankfort Avenue is coming up this Saturday, and that is going to be a very exciting time. We love old-fashioned Christmas, and it's called the Old Time Christmas means we're going to have all kinds of decorations and people in period costumes. And one of my favorite things to do is to MC and judge the pet costume contest.
Oh my goodness.
It's hilarious. And we're going to start at Barkstown Road on Frank Fur Avenue. And don't you love that? Frank Fur Avenue. And that's where the first event is going to take place. And there will be treats and fun stuff. And, we encourage you to gather around 11 o'clock. And then as you move through the next period, we're going to have people coming in, and their animals are going to be all dressed up in their costumes, and it's going to be a whole lot of fun. And then we're going to have the awards and take a walk down the street to Pet Wants, as in my pet wants something for Christmas. So we're going to walk down to Pet Wants and have a whole bunch of fun, and just can't wait. I mean, it's going to be such a fun day. So Saturday all day, but the big thing for me, I said, and the Santa Sprint and Stroll is occurring as well. And you can go to Crescent Hill, the Crescent Hill page, and find out all about that. And then on the 4th, I want to mention the Rock the Holidays Toy Drive, which is always something that is so much fun. They've got all kinds of musical groups going on. This is at Rock the Holidays Toy Drive is at the Hard Rock Cafe on 4th Street. So pretty easy to get to. It goes from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. And you can find out more about that, I'm sure, at the Hard Rock Cafe website. All of these that I'm reading right now are on the WCHQ community.blogspot.com, and you'll be able to find out all about December neighborhood happenings and so much more. Take a quick break to hear a little Cheyenne Mize, and we'll give Jordan and Jessica just a free few moments so they can get a drink of water and stretch and maybe do a few circus poses for me so I can see what it's really like. And we'll be back with Take It From Tara on WCHQ 100.9 FM, also known as Crescent Hill Radio. Love them very much.